Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I am going to do our film the setup of my Behold the Lord setup. So I'm a little nervous because I love this kit so much. And to be totally honest and transparent, sometimes when I really love something, I find it difficult to kind of focus on exactly what I want to do with it, right? Because I love all of the collection. If you guys know, the By the Well for God collections are really big. And so because I have so many things on my desk and I kind of set everything up, I don't know exactly where I'm going to go, like what direction I'm going to go. So I'm still fighting that. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to document this because I feel like I want to document it in so many different ways, but I need to really decrease, which is my word of the year. So I am going to mainly set up my journal. And if I set up anything else, then that is because inspiration came to me while I am filming. So let's start off with that and then we can see where we go. Before we go in, I want to encourage you, look into your stash. So I went into my stash and I pulled a bunch of distress oxides that I feel like these are not perfect, like, colors that are going to match perfectly this kit, but this is what I have on my stash, so I'm going to use what I have. I pulled out Blueprint Sketch, which is a really bold blue, so even if I use this, I'll probably use this mixed with something else and very lightly because it's so bold, but I pulled it just in case. Okay, then I have Pine Needles, not a perfect green, but still. Pumice Stone, which I think matches very well. Tea Dye, Tattered Rose, Rustic Wilderness, just another type of green because Pine Needles is more of a blue green. This is more of a warm green. And then Tumbled Glass, just in case I want to do any like sea, sky type scenes, okay? Because I know I want to use these beautiful stencils. All three of the stencils are gorgeous to me this month. So I know I probably want to use these. So I had that in mind as well. Like, okay, I probably want to use that. So let me pull out all of my inks so they're on my desk. I have like another ledge in front of me where I can sit them all and I can kind of see, I can pull them. It's going to be easy grab because they're already all out. And then other than that, I don't really know where I'm going, but what I do know is I need to set up my notebook because that is where I do my heart part and I do my scripture writing, prayer journaling, whatever the Spirit leads me to do in that moment. So let me go ahead and put you in fast forward. Let's get my journal set up. I got journal set 2, which comes with these two, and I think I'm going to go with this one. Again, not even really making a choice. I think I'm going to go with this one, but let's see how it goes and let's dig in. Okay, darling. So I am going to start off setting up my notebook. And my first thought was, okay, I'm just going to set up my notebook to do my notes. This is something that I do every month. You guys have seen that setup here on this channel. And like I said, I was kind of thinking and pondering on how I wanted to go ahead and journal this, journal through this kit. And so what I ended up thinking to myself was, I'm going to go ahead and use this as my traveler's notebook. So I don't kind of figure that out until after I get through the 14 days of labeling. But here you see me use the alpha that came with the kit for the last Tempted devotional. So in the month of March, Tempted was our devotional, and the actual stamp that was the kit stamp was this beautiful cursive alpha, which I used over and over, and I am not done being obsessed with it yet. So here you see me adding Behold the Lord. I love how it's a simple, bold, cursive title here in the front. So I stamped out with my Versa Fine Black Onyx ink right onto there. And I love how that big, bold title turned out. Okay, so now I am using from the coordinating clear stickers. There is always one sheet that has all the titles of each day. So I am using those titles along with, in the freebie, they came with a clear sticker sheet, that short one, that shows the days of each day. So day 1, day 2, and the number of that day. So I am going ahead and labeling each day. I love to kind of give this encouragement. If you feel like you're starting off Bible journaling, but you kind of want to focus more on the word and then do the art part, using a traveler's notebook is the best way to do that. I have found that doing the heart part in a traveler's notebook helps me keep all my thoughts together and my scripture writing and my notes all in one place. I can travel with it. It's easy to take to the park. I have shown many times on my Instagram stories how I bring my devotional, a pen, and my traveler's notebook, and I bring that to the park. And while my daughter is having fun, I am getting into the Word of God. So just using pockets of time in that way. So here I just finished up with labeling all of my days. And this is when I thought to myself, I can journal right here. I have done this before, and I know you guys have probably seen it if you have been following me for a while, but I haven't done it in about 6 months, I think. I don't know. I think, let me know if I'm right about that. Comment down below. Haven't done it in a while, so I thought, I have all of these beautiful papers. I can add pockets to one of my pages. I can use my stencils as background. I can use all of this beautiful supplies right here in my traveler's notebook, and I can kind of make a space here in my traveler's notebook to do everything, and I don't have to worry about not using up my supplies, which was my biggest worry because I love everything in this kit. So you saw me grab a piece of paper, and just so you guys know, when I'm cutting down the 6x8 papers, I am cutting those down to the width of 4 1/4. Just giving you that measure because I think if you guys want to do this in your traveler's notebook today, or maybe you want to do that next month, 4 1/4 is the width of what you want to cut down your pattern paper, that 6x8 paper, to make pockets. So you can do it as tall or what have you. I was doing it based on, depending on the paper. Right here, I cut right above the galleries because I didn't want to cut through those beautiful portraits. And you'll see me use my green gold big pit marker a lot just to edge up the sides a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and add my adhesive to 3 sides of the pockets and create those pockets there. I also use a mix of the clear stickers. Again, you're going to see me use all types of ephemera here. I loved the brown color in the label word for day 4. And then I found this long washi strip that had some seashells on it. So I was like, oh, this would be perfect to do a seashell page. So first I thought, oh, let me use the paper. Now I don't want all my pages to look the same, even though that's fine as well if you want to do it that way. But then I thought, I know I have some seashells in one of these die cut package. So this is actually from the coordinating die cuts, if you have that. And then I found this beautiful mason jar that has some seashells. So I put that on the bottom left-hand corner. And then you're going to see me just grab all the seashells, and then I'm going to line them up across the side of my page to kind of create a border. So I'm just lining these up. I'm like, okay, what looks good? I'm picking colors that match. All of them end up matching because they're all in that little mason jar. So I line those up, and after I know exactly what I want, I add some adhesive with my tape runner, and then I add all of my little seashells, and I'm just lining them up, overlapping them so there's no gaps, which is really easy because some of these are really big. And then I go back and add some adhesives on the little corners that I know didn't. And then I'm going to fold my traveler's notebook and cut down because this was going to be easier than using my scissors. And then I have that beautiful border after I snip off the top. Look how fun that is, you guys. I love that. One of my favorite pages. Okay, day 5. Day 5, I'm going to go ahead and grab some die cuts too. So you'll see me kind of grab some of that. I loved, you'll see me pause here because then I thought to myself, oh, I have 3 of the journaling cards that come with the verses. Let me go through my devotional real quick and see what days these land on. So I know I had Isaiah 61:1. I had 1 of Peter 2:29, I think it was. And then I have another one in John. So I'm going to go ahead. You'll see me flip through real quick. And what I do is I grab some washi and I'm just going to washi that in whatever day it is. So the first one is found in day 12. And then I found that 1 of Peter in day 14. It's also in day 1. So you can use it in either or. But I've already set up day 1. So I moved that to day 14. And then I have left Isaiah 61:1. And I washi taped that to day 6. And thankfully, I hadn't set up any of those days. But here, I love this lighthouse with the different houses attached. And I was like, what if I create a scene along the bottom with the houses, and then I can use all of the top space for scripture writing, prayer journaling, or notes, or what have you. So now I'm going through my papers. Let me see which one will work perfectly for the bottom. I picked 2, and I actually go with the green because it matches the label. And I'm going to cut strips, a little corner, and then I'm going to make strips of that paper. These are about 2 inches big, and you'll see me add that here. So I'm going to add one side, and then I'm going to cut that off. And I already know, because I've done this before, that that second piece does not fit. So I have to grab that second one. And when I say second piece, I mean the leftover. It doesn't fit. So I have to grab 2 pieces, which is why I cut down 2 pieces. Then I'm going to fussy cut just the bottom. You may be asking yourself, you usually fussy cut out all the white edges from all your die cuts. I did not do it this turnaround because I am setting up. It's not about perfection, and the white borders are not bothering me. But if you want to fussy cut those out, perfect. If you want to edge all of them with some ink, perfect too. So I go ahead and I add both of these, and then I cut off the extra on the left hand one because I did a little overlapping. And since I had some paper left over, I was like, what if I create another layer? And I love that layered look. So I add a second one, and now it kind of looks like the houses are tucked behind hills, which is super cute as well. So I add a second piece there, and I'm just using that leftover paper that I already had. So using up my supplies for the best. Okay, so cutting the edges off, and number 5 is so good too. Okay, next page, number 6, I have this Isaiah, and I was like, oh, this has this beautiful beach scene in Isaiah 61:1's journaling card. So I was like, I want to use this stencil in the background. Now you may be saying, you are going to waste all of this space on that left-hand page. I'm actually not. I am using light colors, so I can journal right over that. I can add my notes. I can add my scriptures. This is just going to be a light background. So I used tattered rose on the bottom of the sand part of this stencil. Love this stencil, by the way. And then in the middle, I use a light hand with the tumbled glass. And then I use pumice stone to do my the birds at the top. And I think it came out so cute. It's a really light background, and I can journal right over it. So now on the right hand side, I grab this paper, which matches the title, Christ the Messiah. And then I'm going to create a vertical pocket, so adding adhesive to 3 sides of that. And then I'll grab my card and slip that right into there. Moving on to day 7. Okay, so day 7, I start off looking at this paper. Now, I make a mistake on day 7, and you'll see that, but I am not going to ponder on it. I'm going to make a think quick. So I count off how many planks we have. We have 10 and a half. So I actually make sure that I have 5 and 5. I ink up my corners here. And then I'm going to create a pocket. But then I'm like, oops. I actually add adhesive to the top, not to the 3 sides, but that's okay. What I end up saying is, well, you know what? These planks have lines which are perfect like journaling lines. So I'm going to go ahead and add these to both sides. And again, because these planks have lines, I can use those as journaling lines and journal right over it. I made that mistake on the right-hand side where I couldn't make it a pocket, but I don't dwell on it. I'm like, okay, they'll just be journaling lines. And so then I thought, oh, I'd love to use the children on this one, kind of it making it seem in my head like they are playing on the boardwalk, right? So I grab a couple of children and I add those to my page on the top, and I still have that white space at the top as well that I can journal on. So I grab a couple of children, and I love these I think they're I can't say the word, but they're children. And so I add them to the page. So here I am on day 8. And again, you can make this project however you want. Here I kind of cut off again 4 1/4, and I'm using this whole sheet over on the right hand side. Again, if I need extra journaling space, I will journal right over this because it is a light color. So you can see my black ink right over this. I thought about adding children, but I just did children and they weren't the correct size to add them there. But then I say, oh, I know I have some stamps. The kit stamp has some birds. I can add these birds with my black ink to my scene. So I add a couple of birds, and I actually love how that turns out as well. Stamping right there on the page. And I love the little trail of the little bird feet, and I add that to the bottom here. So a couple of birds, some bird feet there. Perfect. Moving on to day 9. So day 9, I did kind of an ombre effect across the page with the seaweed stencil. And I start off with Rustic Wilderness at the bottom, and you're going to see me layer this 3 times. So I do that I start on the right, on the far right, and then I'm going to do that here in the middle, and I know it's going to overlap a little bit, and I love that because the color gives it more depth, in foreground and the background, it makes it look like it has more depth. And then I grab pumice stone and I use that at the top and I blend it down to the bottom as well. So you're going to see that kind of ombre effect, and I really, really love it. And this is for day 9 Priest, and I think it matches beautifully with that label at the top as well. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, it doesn't come all the way to the bottom, but I can add some paper. So I grab a paper that matches, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut some strips and add that to the bottom here. So I grab the top and the bottom, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive. At this point, I run out of tape runner. And tape runner for these projects is so much quicker than adhesive glue. So I was kind of bummed, but I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go back and grab what I need. So I grabbed this, and sorry, I know you guys kind of caught me there in the screen. I grabbed this, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the bottom, trim off the excess because I just need a little bit at the bottom to kind of signify the sea floor of where this seaweed is growing from, because I didn't want it to look like it was just floating. Now day 10. So on day 10, I am looking, so I shift through all my things. Everything is on my desk layered around me. So that's another thing. Just open up everything around you so you have access to all of your supplies. So I grab this washi strip, and on this washi strip, it matches the title King, which is day 10. And then I realized, oh, I haven't pulled out these cards. So I was like, okay, so I have this green card that also matches. And then I'm like, hello, let me make a pocket. Okay, so I'm grabbing some paper, and then this one, I had grabbed the top and the bottom off of this one for day 9, so I can make that edge along the bottom. So I'm gonna cut this out at 4 1/4 again, and I'm gonna use now I'm using my Coquina glue stick, and this works great as well. And I'm gonna add that pocket there, and then I slip that card onto the side. Day 11 was super fun. First, I'm going to use this stencil. This is a mesh net, or not a mesh net. It's a net. It's a fisherman's net. And I'm like, oh, it'll be fun I don't have any fish, right? But it'll be fun to add this net to the corner and add some things that they could possibly collect off of the sea floor. I mean, Not really, but hey, this is the way that I'm using it. So I go ahead and I do that on the right hand side. Then I flip over my stencil, and using pumice stone, I'm going to go ahead and add that to the other side as well. So it kind of makes like a little hammock net at the bottom of my page. And then I'm using up my seashells that I had left over, adding some of that liquid glue. I also add some of this, I want to call it coral reef. It maybe isn't that, but that's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to add it and tuck it in along the bottom, and then the starfish. And this uses up a lot of my seashells and also creates a really fun bottom. Then all of that space at the top, it leaves me enough space for me to journal. And I also add this journaling card up at the top. Eventually, I decide to leave it. Love that. Day 12. So on day 12, I have yet another journaling card that has Galatians 2:20. And so I do want to use that card, and I am going to go ahead and use this paper. And yes, I did use it before, but it's okay to repeat things. And this is me showing you that. So I go ahead and ink up the edges. I'm going to add glue to 3 sides, and then I'm going to add that right here. And then I kind of think about what am I going to do with that journaling card. So I go ahead and take off the washi, and I just pop that back in there. On the left-hand side, I wanted to add one more thing. I kind of try a couple of those lighthouses and eventually pick one. And then I add that to the right-hand corner of my page. Day 13, almost there, guys. I'm going to use this leftover paper, and I'm just going to use the whole thing right over here on the right, and I have tons of room to journal. Day 14. So I love this scene. It has a little bit of green and a little bit of the sea, but there's not really one thing that overcomes it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and grab this paper, and I'm going to create a pocket. I'm going to create a horizontal pocket. So I'm going to cut this down again to 4 1/4. And I'm going to add this to the bottom here. So this actually, after I thought I was just going to do this pocket, but the pocket looks so simple that I'm like, I can add one more thing because this is like the shoreline. So I grab this little lifeguard hut, I'm going to call it, and I add that to the bottom here, taking off some of that glue that came over. And I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to that and stick that down. So I go ahead and edge that up, and that finishes off all of the days. Okay, darlings, it is all set up, and this is thick. I mean, but I'm so happy because I used so much of the supplies. I think up here, I'm going to use, let me see, I think I had like a mini, I can't find it right now, but I had these mini labels, and I think I'm gonna stick a mini label here so I can put, you guys know I always like to put my dates of when, I gotta take these out so I can stick these in some pockets. Okay, I can't find it right now, but I know it's somewhere in this mess, and I know as soon as I probably stop filming, I will see it. But you guys, I love it. So I'm just gonna flip through real quick so you guys can see. Here is day 1 with a pocket on the side. Day 2, some stickers and a horizontal pocket. Day 3, oh, did I miss day 3? Okay, I'll do that off camera. Day 4, I absolutely love. And then we have day 5. This one's really pretty too. Day 6, I love this background with the vertical pocket here. Day 7, tons of, because I'll be writing right on here, so tons of space to write. Day 8, love that I added stamping to that. Day 9, oh, that's fun. Day 10, another pocket, and I have this little card here that matches so I can do some extra journaling. Day 11, and I added one of those cards up there. Day 12, day 13, and I'll probably add this here. Let me, a little piece of washi tape so I have this extra thing. This is not a pocket, but I can add that here since it matches. And day 14. And that is it. I will go in and do day 3 because I didn't even realize that I skipped that day. But all 14 days set up except for day 3. I love how this turned out and I cannot wait to dig in. So if you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing. Hit the like button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for joining me each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.